Welcome to today's yoga practice. We're going to be spending some time in some restorative yoga postures. And this is a type of yoga called yin yoga. And there's all kinds of yoga that are, some are more for endurance or stamina, some of them are more for relaxation. All of them work to balance our minds and our spirit, and they help us to turn ourselves inward. So today's practice, yin, is where we hold our postures that are stretching postures for an extended period of time. The reason why we do that is because there's something called fascia that runs over and covers, it envelopes almost every single part of our body, our bones, our tendons, our muscles, our ligaments. The only thing it doesn't envelope is our skin. And this fascia is a type of connective tissue that reorganizes when you stretch it, when you exercise, when you work to balance or work your muscles. So that takes time, and it takes time for our muscles to actually let go. So that's why we spend the amount of time that we do in each yin posture. Before we get to them, we are going to do a short heat building exercise. So a little bit of a warm up so that our muscles can be nice and warm and therefore ready to open up in these yin postures. We're going to be using a few props today. One of them is the wall. So hopefully you have a wall nearby. If not, just pause it and come back when you do. So set up against a wall or close to a wall. Another thing that we're going to be using at the very end of our practice is a bolster. So I don't actually have a bolster here at home, so I have a couple of examples that are very similar. This is like a long lumbar pillow that I folded in half, or can use extended, so this will work for what we want to do later. Another option is just to roll up a towel. So if you need to go ahead and get that ready, do so, and when we return, we will get started with our practice. So let's meet together seated on our yoga mat in Sukhasana, crisscross on our bottoms. Thanks. So if you need to bring your feet further away from your body, extend a leg, one bent, one straight, in order to make this posture actually easy for you. That means easy to lift your spine and create a long body through the crown of your head. So if you can't sit upright, you can't bring your heart above your hips, then that isn't where we want to go. So any type of seated posture that can bring your heart aligned above your hips, that's where we want to be right now. Once you find that space, begin to turn yourself over just to the present moment. So coming exactly as you are, whether that be fidgeting, distracted, with a heavy heart, energized, focused. Whatever it is, wherever you are right now, just notice that feeling, that emotion, that sensation, and acknowledge its presence. Notice the ground beneath you. So feeling the sensation, the weight of your body on top of your mat, just held up by the earth. Notice the sides of your feet, your outer thighs. Bringing your awareness even deeper. Noticing now the temperature of your skin, So those areas that are exposed to the environment, maybe scanning the body, identifying but not judging any areas of tension. So setting aside expectation of what this practice will be like and just tuning into the elements and yourself. Taking a deep breath, noticing now the sensation of oxygen as it enters in through your nose and completely fills your lungs, expanding your chest, opening the heart area, energizing the body. And as you exhale deeply through the nose, fully, until you're completely out of air, maybe finding that moment of stillness between breaths. That still, quiet place that the author Amy Saltzman refers to between the inhales and the exhales. So even if we are so still with our hands and our feet, even if we're relaxed, eyes are closed or rested, our body still moves with our breath. Aside from that brief pause, that still quiet place, maybe you can find it. Closed eyes are the first sign of relaxation. We are better able to bring our awareness inward. When we're able to rest, let go of our external environment, and bring presence just within. So noticing if you're not there, then that's okay. This is the tricky part about yoga and mindfulness, is that we have to accept that there is impermanence in everything. Nothing lasts forever. Each moment, each breath, each feeling, each experience changes. And so do our opinions about them. So that means both good and bad. So not having attachment to even the good sensations. Maybe we feel really relaxed, super in tune. This also applies to those moments. It can be difficult once we've experienced the benefits and positive associations with meditation. It can be difficult not to strive to get to that same place every time you meditate, but the truth is that most of the time we aren't there. But most of the time is also where our true practice sets in. So now, continuing to notice those breaths as we begin to organically move our bodies along with the breath movement, whatever that means for you. Maybe just starting to sway from side to side, expanding through the right side of the body and then the left. Maybe bringing the hands to the knees and pulling the spine back to the side, and then arching the back as you bring it around. So creating mindful circles, moving with the breath here. So full, deep yogic breaths, diaphragmatic breathing, taking the breath deep into your belly, inhaling as you expand, and exhaling as you relax. Inhale, pull your elbows back as you tilt your chin up, pull the shoulders back, slight arch in the back. Exhale, Shift the hands forward, shrug the shoulders, drop the chin. All right, so if your eyes are closed, you can keep them that way. I'm going to challenge myself to do that today. Coming onto your hands and knees and all fours. So maybe you need to feel around your mat in order to find what feels right for your body. But approximately every body is different. That's what makes us all unique and makes yoga so, there is no perfect yoga pose because there's no body that's the same. We all have skeletal differences. So finding the spot that feels right for your body, somewhere around the area of wrists beneath shoulders, knees beneath hips, and finding a neutral spine, so keeping the belly gently pulled up, tailbone long, so tailbone points back, shoulders pulled away from the ears. Pressing through all 10 fingers in order to protect the wrists. Weight equally placed between your palms. Begin to inhale as you drop the belly, keeping the tailbone, shoulders high. Maybe take a slight back arch, lifting the chin. It's a cow pose. Exhale as you round the back, drop the tailbone, shrug the shoulders. Cat pose. Inhale, expand, and the shoulders back. Exhale, rounding the back, just like imagining that you're a scared cat. Inhale, expand through the chest. Feel the sensations in your spine, your heart area, your hips. Continue to move with your breath at the pace of your breath. So the length of time it takes to inhale should be the length of time it takes to move into cow pose or that back arch. And the length of time it takes to exhale should be the length of time it takes to round the back. But so just beginning to still warm up the muscles here, coming back to a neutral table. We are going to cross the ankles, come back on to our hips, bring the feet forward. And if you need to, bring your hands back behind your hips, just an inch or so, leaning back gently as you lift one or both feet up to boat pose. So adding a little bit more heat into the body now. Shins can be parallel to the ground if you'd like. So yoga is a balance between so many things: effort and ease, strength and flexibility, activity and rest. So you can choose for yourself if you want to make this more of a pose that satisfies both strength and flexibility building. We might want to do something like flexing the toes, engaging the heels, or pointing the toes. If you need to bring the feet down or take a break at any time, go ahead and do so. And then inhaling, maybe trying to straighten the legs, staying connected to the breath. The quality of your breath is the quality of your practice. If the breath is compensated, that means we're pushing too hard. If this isn't enough, take a deep inhale and try pulling your heart closer to your knees, closing that space between your upper and lower body. Try to stay steady here. If you've opened your eyes, that's okay. All right, exhale, close the pose, just across the ankles. All right, so we're going to take a counter pose. Oh, my eyes popped open. That's okay. I'm just going to come back to the moment. All right, so leaning on back, knees are bent, feet planted on the ground, arms down by our sides. This is restorative resting pose. And then inhale, we'll press the heels into the ground as our hips go up to build a bridge. So engaging the back side of the body here, the glutes, and also the front side of the body, quadriceps, the core, the sides of the body. Notice the sensation in the outside of your hips. Your obliques here are engaged. So this is both a flexibility and strength building pose. Notice the parts of your body that are stretching. As you inhale, feel your chest and belly expand. Maybe you need to shift around your body to find your edge. Maybe you can even shimmy your shoulders closer to one another on an inhale. Bringing the hips up higher. You can interlace the fingers if you'd like. Notice how your breath adjusts according to your posture. Notice if you want to come out of the pose, notice the parts of your body that are shaking, that are wobbling. Recommit yourself. If this is the one thing you do today, make it be this pose. Get up and try again. That's when the true practice starts. Once we've fallen out of a pose and we had the strength and dedication and persistence to get up and try again, even if it's just for one breath. Maybe you commit yourself just for one more heartbeat even. And exhale, slowly lower back down, one vertebra at a time. Unrolling until your hips find the mat. Ooh, ah. You can windshield wiper your knees from left to right. And then bring the knees in towards your chest. Rock and roll left to right. All right, now we're ready for our yin pose. We're going to come up, bring the hips close to the wall. So first you're going to be on your side. Get your hips nice and close. Then lower onto your back. Arms can come out to a T. And bring both feet up to the wall. Once you're here, bend both knees, lifting the hips up. Lift your right foot and cross it over your ankle over the outside of your left knee to create a figure 4 shape. So my hips are still off the wall, but now I'm ready to get into my stretch. This is what's going to lever my body, is the weight of my hips. So slowly lowering my hips back down to the floor to create that stretch through the outside of your right leg. Try flexing the toes, the heel, to keep the muscles in your right leg engaged. Maybe adjust the height of your foot that's on the wall. So moving the left foot down further will create a deeper stretch. Let your body settle in. Noticing the sensations, both pleasant and unpleasant. And choosing a mindset, an attitude of equanimity, upeka. It's our non-reactivity. Upeka. About 5 more breaths here. Notice if your body is wanting to pop out of this pose. This is the pose, this is the time where that fascia that I mentioned is reorganizing. 2 weeks it takes for an area to completely transform. So if this is challenging for you, begin to send your left foot higher up on the wall if you've brought it down, lifting the hips up, slowly releasing the right leg back to the wall to switch sides. So bringing the left ankle onto the right knee, figure four, and then slowly coming back down. Adjusting the foot. So that those 2 weeks, it's an important thing to know, fascinating actually. It's all that it takes to transform our experience. All different sensations are felt in yoga poses in particular. Each pose works to bring us closer to our edge. It works to rub up against our frustrations, our tendencies that are not the type of tendencies that lead to happiness, balance, productivity. Tendencies like doubt, self-doubt, doubt of others, doubt of yourself, maybe even doubt of the method, doubt that poses like this ever could actually make a difference. Doubt is normal. Everyone experiences tendencies like this. And yoga poses are created to put us up against these feelings. And it does it in order for us to find the strength and commitment and acceptance of the impermanence of everything. Upekkha, equanimity. We learn how to respond and change ourselves in order to make things bearable. We learn how to sit with unpleasant sensations. And ultimately, those unpleasant sensations go away because, again, 2 weeks, it's all it takes for your fascia to reorganize itself, transforming a potentially uncomfortable, unpleasant sensation. Maybe this feels horrible in every part of your body, but it won't. And each day that you do it, each moment you sit in it, is one step closer to finding surrender into a pose. 2 more breaths here. Good work. All right, send the hips up, release the left foot back. Lower your hips down and send your feet over. And we're going to grab either the mat or, the bolster that we brought with us. I think I'm going to use just this pillow. And we're going to bring it, legs extend away from you. We're going to pull our bolster or towel directly beneath our scapula. So that is the bottom of our shoulder blades. All right, and then we can bring our arms out to a T for our final resting pose of today's practice. Exhale, let your body melt towards the mat. Notice sensations in your body, the feeling of energy moving especially from your upper to lower body. That last pose that we did compresses the hips, cuts off the energy. And when we release the pose, it's like a water hose after it's been bent. The water sprays. That's exactly what's happening right now. Feel that energy, that prana, as it vibrates and resonates throughout your entire body, from the tips of your toes all the way up to the tips of your fingers. Letting your breath return to its normal pace. Equanimity, non-reactivity, upaka. Slowly begin to move your body, wiggling the toes and fingers. And as if you are working hard not to wake up a person, child, or pet lying next to you, begin to move your body, bringing your heels closer to your hips, rolling over onto one side. Let your head rest on your lower arm. And slowly, gently pressing your body up. And returning to the easy pose of your choice. Maybe bringing your hands to your heart center. So take a deep cleansing breath in through the nose, filling completely with air. Sigh, let it go. May all beings be happy. May all beings know peace. May all beings be free. Thank you for joining me.